Hello. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to watch this video. I'm sure you are concerned, as I am, about the recent increase in the number of positive test results for COVID-19, especially in our area. You may, like I, back in March, I didn't even know anyone that had tested positive. It was just a whole lot of numbers and statistics. But now it's a little closer to home. We know people who have been exposed and maybe have tested positive. And so it's also in response to the county's ordinance about face coverings in public spaces. I wanted to talk to you about that. About 40% right now of our congregation seems to be comfortable attending Mass in person. Our arrangements of social distancing and the way we've structured things makes them comfortable, and they feel like they're safe and they can attend in person. About 60% of our parishioners, they're not ready. It's not our preparations that bother them. It's just that given their circumstances, they're just not able to attend in person. And that's, of course, certainly okay. And I would encourage people who are a little bit in doubt that it's probably best to stay at home. That's why we will continue to live stream the Sunday morning 9:30 Mass and the Wednesday 8:15 daily Mass, and continue to do the morning devotions, the parables, Bible study, all those things. We'll do whatever we can to minister to people who just cannot attend Mass in person. But I'd like to talk to you about a new group of people, if you will. Some of that 40% who've been able to come to Mass, because of the increase in the virus in our community, they're beginning to question whether it's now still safe for them to attend. And that's a good thing. I think it's important for all of us to continue to reevaluate. I would remind you that the bishop has that dispensation in place, and so you're not obligated to come to Mass. Certainly, we'd like you to watch the Mass if you cannot attend in person. But this group of people, they've told us that they would probably still feel comfortable enough to attend if everyone in the congregation was wearing a face covering. That would just make them feel just comfortable enough to continue to come to Mass. And so that's my point today. I would like to ask anyone that's going to attend Mass here, especially on the weekends, but even daily Mass, if you would be so kind, if you're able to wear a mask, if you would do so. If you would do that as an act of love, an act of charity for this group of people. Because if we don't, they're not going to be able to come to Mass. And I don't think you or I would want to do anything that sort of keeps people from experiencing the sacraments. I do want to say that I know that there are legitimate reasons why some people cannot wear masks. And if you happen to be one of those people, I still want you to attend Mass. I just would ask that you might be especially careful about the social distancing. In fact, maybe thinking instead of 6 feet, think 12 feet. That you might, as you come into church, go off to the back, to the side, to stay away from other people, that they would not see you without a mask and be uncomfortable. I'd also want to ask those that are wearing masks, if you see someone come into our church and they don't have a mask, I'd invite you to think the best about them, to just assume that there's some legitimate reason why they cannot wear a mask, and that they're just doing their best, and they too want to come to Mass. And so if we can, give each other the benefit of the doubt, and especially give each other the charity, the love, that will allow all of us to still, as best we can, able to attend Mass. really be grateful. I think that is the Christian way to handle this. If you don't mind, I know you've already listened for 5 minutes, but you can turn it off now if you like. But if you'll give me a few more minutes, I would like to ask you about something else. When I was on retreat last week, I started thinking about sort of how does this end? Like at what point do we put water back in the holy water fonts at the door? At what point do we invite altar servers to come back up to Mass? At what point do we start up ministries and groups that have been going for years and years at the parish? And it dawned on me that maybe the way to think of this is not to hang on and just wait and then hope that, soon everything will go back to normal. I think we might do better to think of this as normal. So, for example, I was considering the altar servers. The way altar servers normally work, they're often close to the priest, the presider. And it dawned on me that maybe the thing to do was just to say, well, what can an altar server do while still staying away from the priest? And Father Vijay and I, thinking this out, came up with a lovely list. And so we're in the next couple days, weeks, we're going to see if we can get altar servers to come back and serve again. We'll run it by their parents, of course, and make sure that they're comfortable, but we think we've got some things that they can do to help us and yet still serve. And so what I'm asking you to do is, if you're involved in a ministry here or a group, rather than just think of, well, my ministry, my group is on hold, let's think together about what we can do in this situation. Some things, of course, we won't be able to do, and that'll be okay. Some things maybe we can still do, or we can adapt, and maybe, who knows, we'll end up with something even better than what we had before. I'm inviting us, I think, to see this as an opportunity, not an opportunity we would have chosen, and nor the one that we want, certainly coming at a heavy cost. But since it is before us, let's ask the good Lord, well, what do you want us to do in this moment? And let's just see what the good Lord puts on our heart. So by all means, if you're in a ministry, especially if you're in leadership, talk with the other people in your group. See what you think might work for your group, your ministry, your situation. And let's see what we can do with that. Really appreciate your watching this video. Look forward to seeing you this weekend, whether that's through the live stream, maybe through the live stream and then in the communion line in your car after the 9:30 Mass, or maybe in person. Thanks very much. God bless.